Exterior, Samson's camp beyond the southern tents, morning. Some of the posse must be in their tents because only Samson, Carmine, and Zeke sleep around the fire's ashes. Horses in the background. The tarp cover over the wagon is flung away, which makes Samson wake up to see Boswijk sit on the Gatling gun that was until now hidden on the wagon. "Rise and shine, soldiers." Not inclined to do so, Samson looks over to Zeke, who has woken up also. A look of indignation, given and received. I must have... Old hatchet stuff does that, yeah. "Get off my gun." Boswijk grins, pats the barrel of the gun, then dismounts it like a horse, climbs down the wagon and stands with his hands in the pocket of his trench coat. "Your gun. Well, you didn't pay for it, did you?" "You Dixon." Cyril comes out of a tent. "That's the sheriff." "Dixon ain't coming. He asked me to meet you on his behalf." Now Waltz and the rest of the posse join Samson. They surround the wagon and Boswijk. "Did he now?" "Sure did. You're late to honor your deal with the Wyoming Stock Growers Association." "We're not." "Not yet. It's a suggestion." "You're not with the WSGA. I represent the Northern Wyoming Farmers and Stock Growers Association." Waltz and Zeke put a hand on their gun holsters. Cyril spits on the ground. Samson crosses arms in front of his chest. "You got some nerve." "I've got a proposition is what I got. A most profitable one." "Oh yeah? Your men, plus the gun." "Shut up." Cyril draws his gun. Waltz and the others follow his lead, while Boswijk lifts one hand mock apologetically. "You killed Dixon." "What do you care?" "Dixon worked for the WSGA. They pay me, so we work for them too. A contract is a contract. I won't be bribed." "The cattle companies don't need you. Your men, this gun, the farmers, rustlers, have a right, and they're willing to pay double." "What's in it for you?" "A commission." "A commission, eh?" "That's right." Samson has a quick think, guns drawn and all. "I do have a deal for you." "Let's hear it." "You get to walk. I'm going to take what you have on you and leave it at that. Consider it a fee for attempted bribery." "Not interested." "What's that?" Boswijk pulls a foot-long ketchum grenade from his trench coat. "Lord Almighty." Most of the posse take a step back, not Samson. "You been carrying this around in your pocket?" "It's not live." "Good. I like a man who understands how grenades work." He stomps the tear-shaped grenade nose first on the ground. A click. And now even Samson takes another step back. "Now it's live." "You're not going to drop it." "Meaning you're not going to die either." "You think you're clever, huh?" Waltz turns his back at Boswijk and starts to walk away. "Come on, let's just shoot him from a distance." With his free hand, Boswijk draws his own gun and shoots Waltz in the leg. Waltz goes down and lies whimpering. The whole posse is startled. "Nobody moves unless I say so." "You..." "Guns. You tell your men to drop them. You shoot at me, this thing kills all of you. You start to walk, I shoot you. So, drop them." Samson gives a silent order. Everybody drops their guns. "You, bring them over here." Zeke collects the weapons, stands confused until Boswijk motions him to put them in the saddlebag of one of the horses. As Zeke does so, double the money. Think about it. Deal's not off the table. "Yes, it is." After Zeke has put all guns in the saddlebag, Boswijk slaps the horse on its behind so that it neighs and gallops away. Too bad. He turns around and leaves for Beer City, Ketchum grenade held out like a dead possum. He whistles a merry tune, too. Interior Foon's cell, day. In the light of a handful of sunbeams, Foon's thumbs make a final pull, and that nail is out. Foon moves the floorboard to the side, finds a hidden wooden box with the outline of Boswijk's Ketchum grenade on it. The sound of a key in a lock. Foon scrambles to put the floorboard back in its place and sit on it. Boswijk opens the door and presents Foon's knapsack. I'm told this is yours. Judging from what's inside, I doubt it. I earned it. Yeah, I'd like to hear that story. But you know what? Afraid we won't get to have that chat. Interior, saloon, Beer City, day. Capacity crowd, including Quickly. Foon on a chair in front of the bar, hands tied behind his back. A noose gets thrown over a beam. Boswijk produces a gavel from behind the bar. Court is in session. He slams the gavel down on the counter to cheers from the crowd. Quickly eyes Boswijk with open disgust, then leaves. Who brings the charges? I do. Player 2 steps out of the crowd behind Foon. Chinaman killed Dixon. Foon sits expressionless, because he is busy scraping his bonds with the floorboard nail. That I know. Details, man. Was just cards. He went all in, lost, had to give his belongings to Dixon. Fair and square. I was at the table. Me too, he's right. Player 1 peeps out of the crowd as if to say hello. And later that night, Chinaman sneaked up on Dixon. They're good at that. Foon is good with the nail. Shot him in the face just like that, with that weird gun of his. Ah, yes. Boswijk pulls Foon's knapsack from behind the bar, takes out the cap gun, examines it. This funny little thing. He pulls out an identical-looking second cap gun. Or this one. Foon jumps from his chair, hands free, and rams the nail in player 2's stomach, who howls with pain, sinks to his knees. Before anyone fully understands what's happening, Foon lunges for the 2 guns on the countertop. Boswijk doesn't interfere when Foon grabs them, arm locks player 2 and puts both guns to the latter's temples. The crowd gasps. Player 1 reaches for his gun. Tell the truth. What? Tell them. Sheriff! Boswijk leans over the countertop, gavel in hand, but does nothing. He just grins. No? I don't know what you're talking about. Then you die. Foon pulls the trigger of one of the guns. Pop goes the cap. Sighs of relief, but player 2 looks scared to death. Wrong one. My mistake. Wait! Now you die. He cheated! He cheated! More sighs from the crowd, but disappointed like Romans who fear to miss out on bread and circuses. Louder! Dixon cheated! Chinaman had the better hand, and then he got cocky with us, so we took his money. And the guns, and everything. Is that a fact? Boswik's eyes find a dumbstruck player 1. They bore sadistic holes in the man's soul, and player 1 fails to utter a word. A fact, then. He slams the gavel down. Now you let the man go and listen to my judgment. Boswijk finally draws his gun on Foon, cocks it. They stole from me. I heard him. Have you heard me? Foon lets player 2 collapse, raises his arms, both guns still in his hands. Good. Now listen up, y'all. Boswijk puts his own gun back in his holster. The facts are the facts. This man acted in self-defense. He is free to go. The place all but riots. Your sheriff has spoken. Now get out or order your drinks. One final slam of the gavel. Someone pulls the noose from the beam, Player 1 helps Player 2 to his feet. Foon just stands there, computing, before he goes to collect his knapsack from the bar. However, Boswijk puts it away. I said you're free to go. My knapsack? Legal expenses. Beer! Coming right up, Sheriff. Foon's face is at civil war with itself. Yes? Anything you want to say? Interior, Hatchet's office, brothel, day. Unintelligible murmur from the street can be heard in the office, where Hatchet sits behind her desk. Salome appears in the open door. He let him go. I told you not to go. I didn't. The men are talking about it. Forget about it and listen. To them. Hatchet points at the window, behind which the unintelligible murmur intensifies. They don't understand why the Chinese isn't hanging from that beam right now. He has riled them up for fun. Boswijk? He has given me an idea. He thinks I'm too scared to get pistol whipped. Hatchet locks eyes with Salome, who waits for an explanation that just won't come. I don't understand. Ruby could never do it. But I have a hunch that you can. Do what? I'm giving this son of a bitch what he deserves, and I need your help to make me look the part. I'm not going to pistol whip you. I can't do it myself. Sure can't do it twice if I mess up. Why would you? I've put up with him for too long. Hatchet opens a drawer, takes out a pistol and puts it on the desk for Salome to stare at in horror. This town fears him, and Boswijk believes that's enough to make him untouchable. But the people out there don't want to be scared. They want to be played. Do it. Now? There's no time. It will take the bruises a couple of hours to come out right. I need to put on a show tonight. Hatchet gets up, walks around the desk, takes the pistol from it, puts it between Salome's and her own hands. Don't think about it. Do it. She smiles at Salome. Interior, saloon, beer city, night. Card games. Skilled player plays a merry tune. Men sit and drink. Boswijk has a bottle in front of him at the bar. The door opens. Hatchet walks in, her face only visible to the men at the tables. She stops so that more and more guests turn to look at her face. The man is... The sight of the matron's face steals barkeeper's thunder. It gets so quiet that skilled player looks around. He breaks off his merry tune. When Hatchet speaks, her words are slurred. No round on the house tonight, fellers. The reveal. One side of Hatchet's face is badly swollen. Her cheekbone has begun to discolor around the bloodshot eye. Boss, what happened? He happened. Hatchet points at Boswijk. He came to me to make me pay rent for my own house. And when I refused, he whipped me. Uneasy whispers and many a glance between the guests, but Boswijk leans back on the bar, says nothing, just sends Hatchet an impressed nod. That's right. And this is what I get for building this town, for keeping the tap running, day in, day out. Sheriff? At this, Boswijk snaps with the most aggressive bark. Shut your damn mouth! Boswijk grabs his bottle by the neck, extends it like a club towards barkeeper. The liquor flows out. There you have him. She walks through the tables, gets closer to Boswijk. A dog that barks. That's all he is. A stray, biting at anything and anyone. Today he came for me, and after tonight, he'll want to finish the job and beat me to death. But I don't care. I care about this place. A chair scratches on the floor and Samson stands up. Where I come from, you don't treat a lady like that. And where I come from, you know that murderers deserve the noose. Player 2 stands up. Player 1 follows suit. Damn right. Now Cyril gets up, too, and with him the rest of Samson's posse. Only Waltz isn't there. Now what the hell do y'all think you're doing? Boswijk looks unperturbed, curious, if anything. Setting this straight is what? Salome enters the saloon, instantly makes eye contact with skilled player, gives him a nod. This is a free town. Skilled player nods back at Salome before he reaches behind the piano to produce a rifle. He hands it to the next best man, gives him a nod. There is no law in no man's land. The rifle is handed to Hatchet and she takes it. But there are rules. Now Boswijk straightens, puts a hand on his holster. Have you lost your minds? Guns are drawn. So many. A couple of men hasten out of the saloon, but even more come in, including Foon. I'll kill every single one of you. Barkeeper ducks behind the bar. Dozens of guns are cocked. Samson and Cyril step closer to where Boswijk stands. You would. Don't we know it? A rifle shot rings loud. Boswijk arches his back, face distorted with pain. Smoke from the double barrel of risen barkeeper's rifle. Samson fires at Boswijk, who goes down on his knees. Cyril also fires a shot at him. Hatchet steps forward, aims the rifle she was given at Boswijk. He looks up at her. All the bullets it takes, Boswijk. Hatchet fires the rifle. Boswijk finally collapses. Squinter steps forward to shoot the lifeless body. Player 2 shoots. Player 1 waits his turn, shoots. Salome draws a pistol. Exterior, Main Street in front of the saloon, continuous. Another shot makes a flash of light behind the saloon windows. Another shot, flash of light. Then more in ever shorter intervals. 9 shots so far. Let's endure another 63 shots/flashes happen. While men start to leave the saloon like voters on Super Tuesday. 71 shots in total. Then silence. 3 more to go, but not now. Interior, saloon, Beer City, continuous. Only Hatchet and a handful of people left. What must be the completely bullet-ridden remains of Boswijk is not visible. But Foon points one of his cap guns where the body must lie. He shoots, then makes room for Salome. She fires her pistol at the body, then turns and leaves with Hatchet. Foon finds his knapsack behind the bar. Exterior, Main Street to Graveyard, Beer City, night. Torches and oil lamps are lit. A procession to the graveyard forms behind Barkeeper and Squinter as they drag Boswick's body along Main Street. Quitley leans against the wall of the brothel. He watches the procession pass him, hesitates, then follows it. Exterior, Graveyard, Beer City, continuous. Those utterly inadequate wooden crosses, and an open grave with a shovel. Squinter and Barkeeper toss Boswick's body in it. Hatchet turns to face the silent procession. Pay your disrespects if you have to. But be quick, because I got barrels that want to be emptied tonight. One yell of approval from many a throat. All rounds on me. The yelling goes bonkers. Now applause and whistling too. On with it. Hatchet goes back to Main Street, passes Quitley while people flock to the open grave. Procession Man 1 returns from the grave, talks to waiting Procession Man 2 who is within earshot of Quitley. The badge is gone. Would have took it myself. Both men join the throng of people back to the saloon. Quitley looks after them. There was some cursing, some spitting. Zeke spits in the grave, then makes room for other unknown faces. They all frown at the remains before leaving. This town had a lot of disrespect to pay, but the last face turns and leaves. Only night sky looks down at the open grave now. One final bullet, too. A shadow in the dark steps up to the grave, pulls a gun, aims for a long time, and fires a final shot, the 74th. Interior saloon, Beer City night. Skilled player tears down the house with a dizzying tune on the piano. Barkeeper can hardly keep up with the orders. Exterior Main Street, Beer City night. Oil lamps on the ground, torches driven into the dirt. Men dance in the street, shots are fired into the air. There wasn't a sober night in the short history of Beer City to begin with. But every now and then, when Hatchet all but drowned the men in beer and whiskey, the little town could outdrink itself. Interior salon in Hatchet's brothel night. Hatchet walks up the stairs to the first floor, where Jasmine squeals as she is chased across the floor by a customer. This night would be one of those nights. Exterior brewery, Beer City night. The door to the brewery flies open. 2 men carry a big barrel out of the building. In fact, the last one. Interior saloon, Beer City night. Drunk guests push a bunch of tables together. Others promptly lift a beaming Salome onto this improvised stage. She chugs down the beer, gets applauded for it by the men, then starts dancing to skilled players' dizzying tune. Exterior Main Street in front of the saloon, night. Men use their hands to shovel water out of a trough. The 2 men with the barrel from the brewery arrive, crack open their load, then pour the whole trough full with beer. Series of shots between Main Street, saloon, and Hatchet's office, to an ever more dizzying tune finale. The men who shoveled get on their knees and neigh. Salome does wild dance moves. Heads dive into the beer trough. Shots fired in the air. Hatchet supports herself on her desk. Salome does a possessed split on the tables. A second barrel of beer is emptied into the trough. Doors in the brothel are slammed. Someone crashes through a saloon window. Hatchet's swollen grin is reflected in her window. A man with wet hair and head neighs to the night sky. End series of shots.